What's with the bathrobe?
Well, Jamie, this time we are attacking one of the classic Hollywood movie myths, which is simply, if you threw an electrical appliance into my bath, I'd get electrocuted.
Right. Well, that means appliances. Our favorite haunts.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Okay.
As Adam said, this grisly death is a favorite with filmmakers. Take Chucky, for example. Our demonic doll gives the bathing beauty a bath time buzz.
Adam, we have about every possible appliance you could drop in a bath, and a few more. What's next?
I don't want to test this in just any old bathroom. I'd like to actually have an isolated bathroom where we can get clean tests safely with this. So I'm thinking about having one of the teams of builders build us a bathroom set that is, fully isolated, insulated, and waterproof with a grounded bathtub in it, and perhaps above that something like a resettable collapsing shelf where we can put the appliance on and continually fall into the tub.
Tori and Christine, that's your cue. The boys need a bathroom.
All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to try to recreate a real bathroom, as close to a real bathroom as possible. So I'm going to put up 2 walls here, we're going to tile it, and then I'm going to have a bathtub here, a sink there, and a toilet there, and hopefully that'll give them what they need.
Of course, they'll need to know how much current is flowing through the water.
This is an amp reader going through, the ground is going to go through that so we can read our amps. And then this is going to go attached to the drain of the bathtub to ground the bathtub.
Now, according to Adam, amperage, not voltage, is the killer. And the lethal limit? He says 70 milliamps.
Right.
Pump somebody with 1,000,000 volts and it's going to hurt them, but if it's under 70 milliamps,
You're not
it's not
gonna
going to kill them. Your average static electricity shock that you can feel is
Yeah.
like 10 to 30,000 volts.
Now, the basic idea is this. There's a body in the bath, in this case, a dummy made from ballistics gel. 2 copper paddles in the dummy's chest represent the heart. The paddles are wired up to a relay, which will trip when the current passing between them hits 70 milliamps. That means death. The bathtub's insulated and ready to go. Meanwhile, Adam and Jamie are trying to find out what happens when an appliance splashes down in your bath. Wow! When that happens, the electrical current leaking from it is drawn towards the metal drain. Now, H2O by itself isn't a great conductor, but the presence of salt helps. And because the human body contains a high concentration of salt water, the current passes right through. The copper paddles are inserted into the chest. Ballistics gel has similar properties to human flesh and should conduct electricity the same way.
This relay is set to be tripped at about 6 volts, which we know from experimentation means that there's about 70 milliamps traveling across the heart.
But it wouldn't be Mythbusters without pyrotechnics. So Adam's rigged up a flash pot to ignite when the current hits 70 milliamps.
When we get a lethal voltage across the heart of the dummy, it's going to short this wire, poof, and we'll get a nice poof and we'll all know. And it's instantly reloadable.
The Mythbuster way.
3, 2.
That was cool.
Isn't that good?
Right, this bath is hot. Time to apply an appliance. This hairdryer has a ground fault interrupter, so if the Mythbusters have created a proper circuit, it should cut out the moment it hits the water.
3, 2, 1, go!
Uh-oh, something's not right.
Oh, look at the water flowing.
It's pumping! What is our amperage? What's our amperage?
0.95 AC.
What kind of ground fault interruption is this? It's pumping water! I would say that's bad!
Well, the relay didn't trip and the ammeter didn't show enough amperage to kill somebody. That's it. I think we should try an appliance without the ground fault interrupter next. So what do we got?
Well, we got a radio. All right, give me the countdown, baby.
Okay, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop.
Tori's shelf collapses like a gallows trapdoor.
We're up to 1 milliamp now.
1 milliamp, 1/70th of a lethal dose of electricity. Well, that's bupkis, I believe, is the scientific term for that.
Something's bupkis, Adam. Question is, what? The Mythbusters call in some electrical engineering know-how for a powwow.
Transistor, and then the part that feeds through the transistor.
That says on the foil right there. On
So is the current flowing through the bottom?
Turns out there are two faults in the system. Adam and Jamie.
Well, Jamie, I mean, this is just a classic Mythbusters screw-up we've got on our hands. First off, the resistance of the human body in the bath is more like 1,000 ohms rather than the 20,000 ohms that we've got read on the ballistics gel. Then it turns out that electrocution is classified as 6 milliamps across the heart, not the 60 we were originally testing for.
And then I screwed up because I had the multimeter on the wrong setting and I was measuring voltage instead of amperage, which meant that we weren't getting the circuit grounded.
Talk about getting your wires crossed. Oh well, even the Mythbusters make mistakes. The guys quickly recalibrate the system,
That's it.
and the GFI dryer takes another dive.
2, 1. Well, the ground fault interrupter tripped immediately, thus proving itself a life-saving device.
Okay, so now the circuit's working. This older hairdryer doesn't have a ground fault interrupter. On each drop, the amount of current across the paddles is relayed to Jamie's computer.
I'd call that dead. Yeah, what are you reading, Jamie? I'm seeing 8.5 milliamps here across the heart.
This one is dead as a dodo. Well over the threshold.
All right, shall we power down?
So Adam was way off. Forget 70 milliamps. Just 6 milliamps fizzing through a body is enough to cause loss of muscular control, making it impossible to get out of the bath.
Next up, toaster. Smell the danger. All right, you ready?
Recording.
Okay, pulling in 3, 2, 1. Whoa.
Our friend here is toast.
Oh yeah, 12 milliamps. That's very lethal, totally lethal. Toasters, no good. Next item, one of my personal favorites. The curling iron. Let's go.
What are you, Pee Wee Hermione?
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. 4.5. It's going to be really uncomfortable.
I think you got out of the bath by now.
You think you can? Don't forget, we've got 4.5 milliamps at the heart. It means the rest of your body is going to be like, lethal dose is 6 milliamps, but 4.5's got to suck.
4.5 milliamps, it's a little close for comfort. I think I wouldn't want to be in there with that.
And now the iron, or as we refer to it around here, Fierro de los Muertos. Wow, that's the highest spike yet. We got 32 milliamps. This thing is literally pumping death into our subject here.
32 milliamps. That's more than 5 times the lethal limit.
Items that had large heating elements are delivering a lot more current, and that's specifically because a heating element is basically a modified short across wire, so it's a lot of exposure to the water.
The Mythbusters also discovered that if the appliance lands closer to the metal drain, the dose of electricity is drastically reduced because the current has less distance to travel.
We know that you can be electrocuted. Now we'd like to find out what would happen if you added something like bubble bath to the water.
Will the water's conductivity be changed?
Nope, that's not as much as it was last time. It's only about 11 milliamps. Last time it was 18, I believe. The soap suds don't help it at all. In fact, it seems like it cut it down. Next up, we're going to try 200 mils of fake urine in the bath.
Our urine is just water with salt and food dye added.
Fake weed test in 3, 2, 1.
Well, that's got it. It's just right in the death zone.
And finally, Epsom salts. Remember, salt normally increases water's conductivity.
Big spike.
Wow!
That was over an amp. That'd be huge. You'd be toast. You'd fry. You'd boil.
This from the guy who thought nothing would happen.
I really like this one. We learned a lot on this. You can definitely die if you drop an appliance into the tub.
Oh, absolutely. Surprisingly, it actually turns out that the location of where the appliance falls in the bathtub really has a strong effect on the severity of the shock you'd get.
And what's in the water will determine how quickly you die.
Everyone always wants to know if we're just busting myths or if we're actually confirming them. And this one, 100% confirmed. Yeah, we're done.